Hello and welcome back to another video. So, I know I said last time that I was probably going to do my top 20 games from the last 20 years, but we're not doing that. Instead, as you can see in the title, we are discussing the Polymega Collection, or specifically the games that Polymega have released for, well, the Polymega, or Playmagi, sorry, have released for the Polymega in all of its rotund glory. So, these two came out recently. Very recently, in fact. I think they came out about a month ago. And I've had a chance to have a bit of a play with them. These arrived like 2 days ago. I've had a bit of a chance to play them. And I'll kind of go over what exactly they are. So, they're not traditional compilation discs. Normally, when you get a compilation disc, you have like, I don't know, 40, 50 games, an accessible menu, and then you just kind of scroll through them. Not quite here. So what these do is, you pop the Polymega disc in all of its wonderfully specific glory, and then, when selecting it, it brings up a collection. So, in the case of Asteroids, it actually brings up about 10 games, which is not bad. In the case of Karate Champ, it's 16. I think these are about £40 each. Then, well, might be £30 each. That was including postage, though, so whatever. In general, very good value for money in that respect. And they cover everything. But we'll go one by one, and we'll go about what I really like about these two particular releases. So we'll start with number one, which is Asteroids. Now, if you buy them early, you get a little pin, which in this case is a fucking nice pin from Asteroids, and I love it. I'm a huge fan. Then you've got the disc, which, so it looks a bit odd because it looks like there's 2 games missing. Oh, you also get some really nice alternative art, if that's what you're really looking for. But to be perfectly honest with you, I'm actually quite happy with the original. I think I have. I don't have Asteroids, that's stupid. Anyway, so moving on. It also comes with just a bit of cardboard saying it's, I don't know if that's a transfer or something. It comes with this, which is not something you see very often. So this typically is something you'd see folded up on something like a Japanese Sega Saturn thing, and you kind of slot it into the front here. And then it has, like, say, I don't know, what is that? In French, I believe. There's a Polymega app. I didn't know there was a Polymega app. I have to find that. Yeah, there we go. Polymega app. And then you've got it in Japanese as well, which is cool. And then finally, you get a controller reference for the Pro Controller. Just basically tells you how each game plays, because sometimes the one downside with the Polymega is often it's a guessing game. It's a guessing game on how the hell you play half of this shit. Although, little QR codes that bring up each manual, which is cool. That's very, very cool, as long as those actually stay up. But yeah, you also get a manual. Manual kind of details a bit of history, as well as things like developers, platforms, CPU, like CPU speed, CPU model, audio. So, for example, for Asteroids Deluxe, it was the Atari Pokey, which is fun. But yeah, just cool, very cool. Lots of shitloads of info. And then you get some really nice artwork in the back there. Very much the same for Karate Champ, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, I've played a couple of the games on here. Specifically, I've played Space Duel, and I've played a bit of Asteroids Deluxe. Now, how do they play? Good. Good. If it's an arcade game, because there are arcade games on it, so this particular collection covers everything from the Atari 2600, 7800, Lynx and arcade ports of Asteroids. But the only thing it's missing, I think, that would have been really nice would have been Blastoids, but that's just me. Instead you get Orbit, Lunar Lander, Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Space Duel, Gravitar, another version of Gravitar for the 2600, Asteroids for the 7800, and Super Asteroids and Missile Command for the Lynx, which I used to have back in the day. Not that old, but you know what I mean. So yeah, 10 full games, pretty solid collection. Kind of a typical Atari thing. Karate Champ's a little bit different. So, as per usual, nice little pin, very, very good. Would like to stress I haven't really played Karate Champ before. I haven't played it at all yet. It's really good. If you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, it's fantastic. It's probably one of the best compilations of this particular series or game I've ever seen. So you've got Karate Champ, the original arcade game, PPP, which is another arcade game, Way of the Karate, Karate Champ for the SNES, for the NES, sorry. Then you get a very weird one. Now, having a quick look in the manual, much the same stuff in there, but we'll get to what else is in here as well. You had it for what is called FDS, which is some kind of floppy disk. Yeah, never released outside of Japan, and this version was exclusive, which is pretty nuts. They've included that version on this compilation. Now, Karate Champ has 16 games on it. It has 16 versions of these particular games. So you've got FDS, then you've got Fighter's History, you've got the arcade port, you've got the SNES port, you've got the Super Famicom port. Then you've got Karnov's Revenge, which includes the arcade port, the AES port, so it includes the Neo Geo port, and it includes the Neo Geo CD port, which is cool. Then finally you get Fighter's History Dynamite, which is the sequel to Karnov's Revenge, at least according to the little blurb on the Polymega. And that version includes arcade, Neo Geo, Sega Saturn, which is cool, Japanese only Sega Saturn release, and the Neo Geo CD. So what do I think of this particular compilation? I think it's a step up in terms of the stuff you get over the Asteroids one. So you get more games, you get a nice pin. It's a very particular series. Then you get an actual Neo Geo CD game. Now this should theoretically play in a Neo Geo CD, but that is an actual Neo Geo CD game that they've just blanketly thrown into this for free. So you can potentially get up to like 3 discs. These hold 3 discs, and some very nice artwork. But yeah, personally I prefer the original Data East release. But yeah, you get 2 discs in this particular one. Totally worth the money. Totally worth the money. So what do I think of these two? A, they're going to look nice on my shelf. B, I'm 100% getting more of them, and I heartily recommend. Thirdly, it's a good step in the right direction for Polymega. So Polymega has been a bit of a nightmare over the last couple of years. Namely, they were out of stock. The pre-orders just weren't coming in. My pre-order came in January of this year after waiting 2 fucking years for it. I bought it originally to celebrate getting a new job. I've since left that job. That's how long it took for this bloody thing to arrive. I left the job that I bought it for in the first place to celebrate. These, however, to their credit, arrived very quickly. They arrived in like a month, which for Polymega is like 2 minutes. So it's nice. I will be doing a follow-up video for Polymega. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about how I feel about the whole machine after a year of owning it. I'll be doing that in January. Should be good. Should be fun. Should be nice. But we'll see. Yeah. Anyway. heartily recommend. Looking forward to new ones. Hopefully we'll get some stuff that hasn't really been ported before. I'd love to see a Rampart collection. I'd love to own every version of Rampart, but might be a bit of a pipe dream, that one. Probably wouldn't sell very well. But these are going to look nice on my shelf. I don't know where. No idea. I'm having a tidy up of the games room at some point. I will do that in the new year. Basically, I'm going to be moving some things around and you will see it. But that will be, again, New Year sort of dealio. Anyways, guys, next week is nearly Christmas. So to celebrate Christmas, we're going to be talking about Wolfenstein. I know. Slight step in the kind of complete and utter opposite direction. But you know what? I've recently picked up some of the games that I didn't own. Or I've re-picked them up in some cases. And I'm quite excited to talk about them. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, that's me signing off. And I will see you next time.